Hello, and welcome to another video. Today, I'm going to be ranking 4 John Lennon solo albums, and yes, I know that's a very small amount, and I'm not ranking all of them because all of the albums are here on this tier list, but I love these albums to death, man. They're amazing. They're great from start to finish, and I just want to rank them and give my opinion on them. But first of all, I know John Lennon is probably one of the most controversial music figures even today, and especially Yoko Ono as well. And yeah, there's so much controversy surrounding him, but if I'm going to be honest, I feel like a lot of it is just rumors thrown around. Yes, there is some hard-hitting proof, like the fact that John Lennon abused Cynthia. However, Cynthia said herself that he simply slapped her when he was jealous at a party, and he immediately profusely apologized and said he wouldn't do that again, and then he didn't do that again. I feel like a lot of people are blowing it out of proportion, acting like he abused her every single second when that's not the truth at all, according to the person that actually got hit by him. So who do you want to believe? A random person that has no idea what they're talking about and probably didn't research shit, or the actual person that got abused and got hit? I would believe the other person. But not the other person, Cynthia. I would believe her, and also just the rumor that John Lennon abused Yoko Ono as well is just preposterous, and it wouldn't really make a lot of sense. And also Yoko Ono has talked about this numerous times about how he didn't, and it wouldn't even make sense because John Lennon's entire solo career basically evolved around him being honest and learning and changing. And yeah, that would really make no sense if he would just go back to his old abusing self. And even according to Yoko Ono, he didn't do that. So again, who do you want to believe? The person that he was actually in love with and spent a very long time with, or a random person online that probably has no idea what they're talking about? But yeah, enough controversy aside, I've already talked about this, and also Yoko Ono didn't solely break up the Beatles. I don't know why people still believe that. Probably one of the most baffling myths still being thrown around today when it's completely false because of other things in the Beatles that really, especially Brian Epstein dying, that really shook them and eventually made them break up. But let's actually get to the fucking ranking instead of just stalling and talking about more stupid controversy that is really pointless talking about because he's been dead for a while already. But first of all, Double Fantasy. It's an S tier album. It's great. If I were to give it a 0 out of 10, a 0 to 10 ranking, I would probably give it a 8.5 out of 10. It's a great album from start to finish, and a lot of people want to rag on Yoko's songs on this album when I think some of her best are on this album. And yes, she has a lot of weird stuff in the beginning of the album, but especially towards the end. She has some really hard hitters. Yes, I'm Your Angel. There's also Beautiful Boy, not Beautiful Boys, like Darling Boy, that song, but it's just Beautiful Boys. And then there's also Hard Times Are Over, which is a fantastic closer, even though it is pretty ironic because hard times were very much to come because, you know, he got assassinated. And I don't know why people are celebrating his assassination when, if you take one listen to his music, especially in his earlier albums, you realize that he changed. You realize that he was just wanting to change, and he was extremely honest. So I don't know why people are acting like, oh wow, he didn't want to change. He is an honest one. That's the exact opposite of what he is, and exemplified in his music, which I don't know why people genuinely believe that he deserved to die when he was one of the musical geniuses out of the Beatles, as well as basically all of them. But yeah, that's just my hot take. Actually, no, it's not really a hot take, but it's just a take that some people might not agree with. But then there's Plastic Ono Band. This is a masterpiece. I probably shouldn't have to explain why. It's just a combination of blues rock bangers with some of John Lennon's most honest lyrics to date, and is extremely honest. It's very, very emotional and really gets right down to John Lennon's thought process, which is fascinating to go into. Oh, and also Double Fantasy. John Lennon's songs in those are some of his best. They're amazing. and they're also masterpieces. But then there's Walls and Bridges, which is an A tier album in my opinion. Not as good as Double Fantasy, but still pretty great. Number 9 Dream is extremely just hypnotizing and is great. And just there's so many good songs on this with so many different genre shifts. It's amazing. But then there's Imagine. It's a masterpiece. I shouldn't have to explain why, but I will. Just again, the amount of genre shifts are great, and again, just like Plastic Ono Band, he's extremely honest, and there's a lot of more bangers on this album as well, like How Do You Sleep and Give Me Some Truth, which are just great. The guitar licks are just immediately infectious and are very, very catchy, as well as John's vocals are amazing, and of course, the number one hit on this album, Imagine, which is a masterpiece and is probably one of the best songs ever. That's not a hot take, but it is a take that some people probably won't agree with, but I believe it. Yeah. And he really gets the point across of what he was really preaching, and I think he did it extremely well. But yeah, these are all the John Lennon albums I listened to. Again, I've listened to only 4. I've not listened to a lot, but I will listen to probably Milk and Honey next, even though the remaster, I want to be honest, the remaster of both Milk and Honey and Double Fantasy kind of suck. The one from 2010. I haven't listened to the stripped back mix of Double Fantasy, but yeah, the original Double Fantasy. The 2010 remaster's not great. I actually like the 2010 remaster of like Plastic Ono Band and Imagine, but with Double Fantasy, it's not great. There's just a lot of clipping, and yeah, there's just a lot of clipping, and also just some of the like drums can be a little bit harsh, but yeah, that's basically it. I've just talked about I've talked about a lot of his controversy enough, to be honest. I'm gonna probably move on and talk about a lot of other Beatles solo careers. I'll probably rank McCartney's albums for what I've listened to after this, but and I do need to listen to Ringo's solo career as well, but or solo career. I do need to listen to his albums as well. But that's basically it, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.